So I just got done watching Shelby Oaks, which is a movie written and directed by YouTuber Chris Stuckman. He is a movie reviewer like myself, but I've been watching him for so long. And he ended up crowdfunding it at the beginning, and then eventually a studio got involved, and they actually ended up making the movie. And guys, this movie has gotten a lot of heat from critics and people online and stuff. But I gotta say, I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was actually pretty unique. The story's pretty simple and honestly, like, I don't want to say generic, but it kind of is in certain ways. But the way it was shot was pretty unique, and I think it was as a result of them having low budget at the beginning and then having more budget later on when the studio got involved because it's like a mixture of found footage and a normal movie, and yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like, I don't think I've seen that before. So that was pretty cool. But basically, the main concept is a woman by the name of Mia. Her sister goes missing at the beginning. That's kind of how the movie opens, is talking about how she went missing and she's getting interviewed and stuff. So it was also like a mockumentary style too. So it was like a bunch of different. It's kind of interesting. I've never seen that before. Um, but essentially, she goes missing, and then no one knows what happened to her. But the other three people that she was with, who also worked on her YouTube show, because she's like a podcast YouTuber, that blah 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 blah, that type of thing. The three others were all found dead, and then the other girl is still missing, and there's like all this speculation, like, oh, is she like, is it a hoax? Like, what really happened? People are speculating and whatnot. And Mia, the main character, goes on a quest to try to find her. And guys, this movie actually creeps me out. Like, I genuinely don't know why it's gotten so much hate. Like, some people are like, oh yeah, Shelby Oaks sucks. Some people are like, it's okay. And I'd say it's better than okay. It wasn't like great, but it was like pretty good, like, especially for a first time filmmaker who's a YouTuber turned filmmaker. I thought it was really good, the way he blended all the styles together. And it genuinely was scary. And there were jump scares. Like, one literally made me like freak out because it was pretty good. But yeah, so it's kind of like a supernatural type of thing, and there's a lot of like primal fears in this movie that I also kind of use when I make short films and stuff. So I really appreciated that. I thought it honestly, like, I was kind of like, fuck, this dude stole some of my ideas that I had planned. But no, he used some that I was like, that's actually pretty creepy. And yeah, I think that he's just getting too much hate for it, guys, because there were certain things, like the jump scares were really good. There was some serious tension. There's a lot of shots. Shots when it, like, the camera will show something and it'll either linger or pan around and stuff, and you don't know if there's going to be a jump scare or not, and sometimes there is and sometimes there isn't. So it just builds that tension. That was used a lot, and it was actually genuinely super creepy. And there was a few like parts with imagery that were just super like scary. So that I really liked. And there was, I'm going to talk about the acting now. The acting was, overall, it was decent. It wasn't like Oscar worthy. It wasn't like horrible. It was just, I'm going to just say the acting was okay. Like, I've never heard of any of these actors before, except for the dude that's in Saw X, plays the detective, and he was really good. He's probably the best actor in the movie. And one character later in the movie, I don't want to spoil it, but she was super creepy too. And the special effects were actually pretty good. There was a little bit of CGI at times, which you can kind of tell, but overall, it was a pretty good movie. Um, Certain things, the one thing I will say is certain character decisions make no sense really, and like there are a couple of moments where the character is just super dumb, but it wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't like so stupid that I was like hitting myself over the head or like punching myself in the face, like being like, why did you do that, you idiot? So it wasn't like awful in that way, but there just were some questionable decisions in the movie where I'm like, okay, who would actually do that, guys? Because if you know anything like about me, like, you just know that I really dislike, like, if there's stupid decisions in a horror movie, it will completely like just take me out of the movie, and honestly, it'll ruin it for me. Like, I will straight up leave the movie theater if I think the characters are so stupid that I can't like take the rest of the story seriously. So yeah, this one, there were a few that were kind of dumb, but none that were like so unbelievably stupid that I had to like stop watching it. Um, and yeah, guys, the cinematography is pretty good. Like, the found footage stuff is is fine. I mean, I'm not really the biggest found footage fan because I think it's you can tell when a movie's found footage and they just don't have a big budget and that's why it's found footage. You can usually tell, and it usually just doesn't really work for the movie and kind of makes it feel fake. But yeah, and there's also like there's a lot of other things I don't really like about found footage, but this one it was fine. I will say it was fine. There's certain stuff with some creepy tapes that are found, and those tapes are genuinely creepy. And yeah, so spoiler warning now. So here's your spoiler warning if you want to see the movie, haven't seen it. One of the things that made no sense is so this guy shoots himself, and that was actually a really shocking scene. Like that was like holy fuck. And I was like, dang, that's pretty bold to open. And it just shows this dude blowing his brains out and stuff. And the blood sprays this way, but then the character Mia ends up with blood splattering onto the side of her face, which is opposite. So the blood's going this way, and she's like, so pretend the blood's squirting in front of me. It's like this boom, but then when you see her face, all the blood is on this side. So I was like, that makes absolutely no sense. And then she calls the cops, the police, and all that, take the body away and stuff. And it shows her like later that day, and she just still has blood all over her. And I'm just like, why in God's name would you not take a shower? Like, I get it that they might need it for evidence or whatever when they show up, the cops, but like, dude, it's literally like broad daylight when the dude shoots himself and that happens. And then it's like hours and hours later, and she's just hanging out in her house with covered in blood. And I think she's wearing the same clothes. I'd have to go back and look at that. But I'm like, what was why did they choose to do that? Like, did they think that would make it scarier or something? And it honestly was just kind of dumb. I guess maybe we all grieve differently, so maybe they had a reason for it. I have no idea. I just thought it was weird. And then, yeah, so that was weird. And then there's this one scene where she like sets her weapon down and doesn't pick it back up. There's also certain points where there's somebody else in the room that she's trying to avoid, and she just completely turns her back to the only place where the character could be. And I'm just like, okay, that was kind of stupid, man. That was pretty dumb. But yeah, it wasn't it wasn't like overwhelmingly stupid. So I think this movie is better than a lot of people think. I enjoyed a lot of aspects of it. Another spoiler here, the part when the lady Norma at the end is like standing in the hallway, I thought that shot was actually like some shit that would fucking terrify me as a kid. So that was really good, and she has like glowing eyes and stuff. And like the whole, and so still spoilers here, guys. The whole like satanic demon possession thing is getting so old in my opinion. But this one didn't really bother me because the movie didn't center around it, if that makes sense. So like I just watched Lee Cronin's The Mummy last week, and that one was just like a fucking dollar store possession movie, and it was just like, oh my god, I've seen this so many fucking times. Like, can we please do something else? I would really appreciate it. But this one, there is possession in it, but it doesn't happen until the very end, and it's not like what the story centers around. So it didn't really bother me in that way. And ooh, guys, there was a lot of stuff where it would just show like they'd be watching a video and they'd be like, oh wait, we noticed something, and there's like something in the background that you didn't see at first watch, and that shit has always really creeped me out because it's like, oh, like you didn't, little did they know something really horrible was about to happen. But that was pretty sick. So I think Chris Stuckman actually is a pretty solid director, and I think that he's just getting too much hate for this. Like, I know people have a problem with him because of what he said, like he doesn't want to like rate movies anymore, which I personally think is just stupid because it's like, it's your opinion. And I know people work hard on movies, but why on earth? Like, if the movie sucks, like, I'm gonna say it fucking sucked. You know, like, I'm not gonna pretend like it doesn't because they worked hard on it. Like, fucking people work hard on everything. That doesn't mean they're like, how hard you try on something versus the result does not always correlate, you know? Like, yeah, over time you'll get better and stuff, but like, there are still times and people where it's like excuse me, oh my gosh, where you try really hard on something and then it still sucks at the end of the day. So like, yeah, I know people are mad about that, and I think that's part of the reason why some people think it's stupid. They didn't like this movie. But yeah, no, it was genuinely creepy to me. Like, I was actually scared. I was covered in my ears and stuff. So I'm going to give this movie a B. I thought it was pretty pretty fun. I wasn't really bored at all, and it was an hour 40, which is like, for me, hour 30 is like perfect for a horror movie, but this one, the hour 40, I know it's like 10 minutes more, but did not bother me at all. And yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else, but it was pretty decent. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to the channel and like and comment. All right, peace.